Hey, what is going on, everybody? I hope you had a great weekend. So, this is my rants channel. If you're not familiar, I have an additional YouTube channel. Just take off the rants, and it's Joshua Thompson. And over there, I do mostly financial stuff. It's just about the markets, about macro, how we're totally screwed and we're going into a recession and a depression. Now, I don't just back that up and say you need to go buy gold and silver, like all the other prepper channels. I don't think gold and silver is going to save you at all. I think you should probably own the physical because it can save you. It has intrinsic value. But for the most part, I'm not bullish on anything except maybe the dollar. And I know that is so antithetical to all the other prepper channels out there. I'm just here to tell you they don't understand the system. They tell you the Federal Reserve prints money. It doesn't. Come to find out, you believe almost nothing the government says. If you're watching this channel, you believe almost nothing the mainstream media says. You doubt them at every turn. And yet they put this garbage out there. The Federal Reserve prints money printer go burr, and you're all like, oh, yes, yes, yes. No, it doesn't work that way. So head on over to my main channel and watch my videos. I have whiteboard videos. There's a financial playlist that tells you exactly how it works. And we're going down. We're going down because the population has went down. And you need a big population to get in debt so you can have high valuations. We don't have that anymore. It's just not there. We're going to be going down. So what I recommend is to get the things that cannot be printed. That's why I say physical gold and silver may save you if it comes to that. I just did an interview with a gold and silver dealer on my other channel. He's a really good guy. I've been talking to him for months. He also believes the stuff that I'm saying. He also has not bought into the narrative about hyperinflation. He just sells gold and silver because there's a market for it. People want it. So you can go buy from him if you want to. I'm not affiliated with him. I'm not sponsored by him. He tried to pay me at one point, and I told him no. I don't accept sponsors or deals from anyone. I'm just here to give you guys information, and that is it. I feel like I'm doing this is like my good deed for the world. Now, as we have all this other crap going around the world and going on, the mainstream media, or we can just go with a conglomerate of like the Drudge Report, they put out crap like this. All it is, the royal family, oh my God, we should pay so much attention to this. This should be the only thing that we care about. Is it someone in this family that has no power, that can do nothing to help the world or change anything? They had a funeral. Now, I'm not here to take away from the funeral of a human that died, an individual. Obviously, it's always a sad day when someone passes. But they're telling you that this is the only thing that you should be concerned about when, for example, I've explained on my other channel numerous times, the Federal Reserve is coming out with Fed Now, July 2023. And then after that, the White House came out with this on September the 16th saying, oh, we're exploring a U.S. central bank digital currency. Okay, well, essentially what that means is the Fed Now service is going to take over the interbank system. So ACH, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all that stuff. That's what the Fed is going to be doing now. And that memo that came out from the White House is basically saying that they're going to use the Fed Now infrastructure to roll out the central bank digital currencies. Now, as I've explained millions of times on my other channel, the only where the Fed can print on their balance sheet is the liability side of their balance sheet. If the Fed comes out with central bank digital currencies, they print them on the liability side of their balance sheet. That means they increase the amount of money in the system without increasing debt. Now, if you had the opportunity to go over to my Twitter here at assumed, ASSUMED 37, there's a recording here that's about 2.5 hours long. It was not just me, it was a panel of people, but I did do a lot of speaking. If you go over there, I explained in detail over and over and over and over and over again why increasing the money supply without increasing the debt supply is inflation. That is the definition of monetary inflation, expanding the money supply without any way to make it go back down. So if the Fed does that with central bank digital currencies, the only way they can stop runaway inflation is if they put controls on your account. Oh no, we have too much inflation. Delete money out of their account, lock them out of their accounts, make it to where they can't spend money. Oh crap, we have too much deflation. All right, everybody, you have until Thursday to go spend your money. Otherwise, we're going to just delete your account. So this is not being shown to anyone. I can't find, I mean, maybe a couple of financial channels are talking about this, but for the most part, preppers aren't talking about this. They're talking about how gold and silver is going to go to $400 million and you're going to be saved. Well, if it was just that easy, all the rich people in the world would be buying all gold and silver all at once. Are there shortages? Yeah, there are. There's silver shortages. There is. It happened. There's also worker shortages. They're sending our silver ore over to China to get processed over there because we just can't do it here anymore. But moving along. So we have, I showed you the Drudge Report. Now, the other stuff that I showed you, okay, let's go to this. Frost sweep France. Coldest summer nights ever recorded in northern and central Italy. Chilliest September 18th for the Netherlands. Now, remember we talked about a energy crisis in Europe, and I talk about all the time how if Europe is going to get that energy, they're going to have to pay for it in dollars. So they're going to need even more dollars. It's going to drive the value up of the dollar even more. If Europe starts selling their US dollar treasuries to get the dollars they need to get the energy they need, that's going to make interest rates go up even higher. And when interest rates go up, it makes the dollar stronger and it crushes everything into a debilitating crash. You can look at the future predictions of the labor market, and it really looks like on those charts we've got about 3 to 6 months until there's going to be mass layoffs. But again, like I said, I can show that over here on the GFS models. Here we are on the 19th. Let's go to nighttime. You can see over here in France, which they're a little bit insulated from this because they have nuclear power. They're not stupid like Germany. You have near 0 Celsius temperatures over here. Switzerland, Austria, northern Italy, southern Germany. It's starting to get really cold over here, folks. Okay? All these greens, yeah, that's 50 degrees Fahrenheit and below. Okay? And even in places like Switzerland, they're being told if they turn their thermostat above, I think it was 67, 68 degrees, they're facing a 3-year jail sentence. So this is coming, but they're not talking about it. You're not seeing this anywhere. We're having to piece all this together on our own. Let's continue. That sunspot has resurrected. Okay, now I don't know if you guys saw my past video, but there was an article. Let me see if I can find it. I can't see it here, but there was basically a prediction by a study group over in Indonesia that said that we were going to get blasted at the 22nd to the 25th, somewhere in that time frame, by a huge solar flare that has the potential to be bigger than the Carrington event. And again, I've told you guys plenty of times on this channel, I'm not going to show you sources for anything because I want you to go look stuff up. I want you to do your due diligence, and hopefully that brings you down a rabbit hole where you just keep researching. So look up the Carrington event if you don't know what it was. So anyway, they're predicting that's going to happen. Now, they use some religious and historical text to prove it, so I don't think this is going to happen. But just to let you know, let's go to the models. And this it actually isn't a model. This is a recording of the sun from our satellites. The sunspot that has already been producing a ton of solar flares and some coronal mass ejections. Right there at the end of the video in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see it starting to come around the edge again. All right, so it's going to be Earth-facing very soon. Now again, they're not talking about this. Stuff like this should be like the top news that gets hit, but it's not. It's how big Khloe Kardashian's ass is. Now, even though I don't think that solar flare is going to go off and it's going to be the big one that sends us back to the Stone Age, even though I don't believe that's going to happen, in that talk that I did on Twitter, I'm going to say it here. I didn't say it on my main channel. If you have kids that are listening to this, pause this and get them out of the room or put headphones in. But it's not super dirty. It's just kind of dirty. Essentially, this is the way I described it. I don't believe this is going to happen, but I need to be aware of it. Right? I need to have it on that shelf of possible things that might happen. And I need to know how to protect myself from an incoming coronal mass ejection. Okay? So the analogy I used was, if a guy is running down the street at you screaming that unicorns are butt fucking people, I'm not saying that you should believe him. I'm saying put that on your shelf of possible things that might happen. And then if you see a unicorn, you need to turn around and run and get out of there so you don't get butt fucked. That's all I'm saying. You know, a lot of people like to say, oh, you're wrong because your view on inflation is wrong. You're stupid. You don't have this, you don't have that. You believe in crazy conspiracy theories. Oh, you mean the Gulf of Tonkin turned out to be real? Remember when the Joint Chiefs of Staff wanted to blow up a plane full of American citizens over Cuba so we could go to war against Cuba? Oh, that was a conspiracy theory though, right? What about Project Paperclip? Yeah, bunch of convicted people that I can't talk about on YouTube, got imported over here, turned into American citizens, all because of their knowledge. We forgave them of everything wrong they ever did. I'm not saying that you need to believe all this stuff, but you need to know it. If you're the type of person that listens to Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and name any right-wing pundit, but you don't listen to Rachel Maddow and David Pakman and all of those people, the Young Turks, you're not doing it correctly. And by the way, if you're a leftist and you only listen to Rachel Maddow and David Pakman and all those guys, but you won't listen to anybody on the right, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it correctly. You got to gather all of the information in, and then you can come to a good conclusion. If you're only taking in half of the information, then it's the same thing with all these climate models. Garbage in, garbage out. If the garbage you feed the model is garbage, you're not going to get a correct prediction on the outside. It's the same thing with your brain. If you're only putting in information from one side, you will never come to the right conclusion. It's impossible. So, again, as I stress many times, it's so important to get your information from a variety of sources and stop believing what they are telling you. Whatever it is, read between the lines, pull the curtains back, get the real information, because they will obfuscate and lie to you. And it's your job as a individual to protect yourself, your families, and do research that makes you better prepared in a world of craziness. And that is why you should have storable foods. You should have water. You should have filters. You should have flashlights and radios and backup communications and solar panel generators like Jackery, or just generators in general. You should have that stuff. It's not that you believe the end is coming, but if it does, you're going to be much better off than everybody else. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I guess it's a zero-sum game anyway. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video.